The original Godzilla movie, directed by Ishiro Honda and made in 1954, was originally supposed to be a commentary on the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This is evident throughout the movie, but none more unsubtle than the first attack Godzilla makes. In the first scene of the movie, Godzilla attacks a fishing boat. This mirrors fishermen who succumbed to radiation poisoning from an American reactor earlier that year. What's funny, though, is as early as 1956, America had cut and added scenes to the original movie to paint America in a better light for American audiences. Now, by the end of the movie, Godzilla was defeated by a weapon called the Oxygen Destroyer. But what's funny is that this was the paradigm that was set throughout the film and throughout the franchise. Godzilla was created from nuclear radiation and wasn't necessarily a good guy, though his image softened in subsequent movies. And this was the history all the way up until 2014, which in the in-between years, this is a small little fun fact, Godzilla actually fought Charles Barkley, and there was a Godzilla movie considered where he would fight Batman, but it was later shelved for numerous reasons. But in 2014, Godzilla was rebooted by an American studio, Legendary Studios. And while the start of this movie is very similar to the beginning of the first movie, there's one key difference. Godzilla isn't the villain. Godzilla became akin almost to a savior, as the actual villains of the movie, the Mutos, were two giant monsters who, like Godzilla, fed off of radiation. This does not seem to be an accident, and in subsequent movies, Godzilla is spun as a hero, considering they were made by American studios for a primarily American audience. But if you take the nuclear bomb analogy into account, it seems that the American Godzilla movies are condoning the historic bombings. Although it is not unreasonable to consider that the new movies outside that it is not unreasonable to consider that the new movies are outside of the original context of the movie, as they were made in a different time for a different audience. But what's weird is that the following movie, Godzilla King of Monsters, drives this fact home even further, as Godzilla is shown to be from a place called Middle Earth and is trying to eradicate the virus of humanity. Now, the more modern interpretations of Godzilla in Godzilla Minus One takes it back to its roots, and this movie actually follows a very similar plot to the original movie. But it was made by a Japanese studio. The one made by an American studio, Godzilla vs. Kong, and then the next one, Godzilla X Kong, spin Godzilla as even more of a hero, teaming up with King Kong to defeat the likes of Mechagodzilla and a new species of Kong-like beings.